if you are coming to the UK and you are a woman and pregnant, I would advise that immediately you get here, you try and get a job, because there are certain benefits that will be due you as a pregnant woman who maybe has even worked for a short time that you can get whilst you are on maternity leave. So I would advise that immediately you get here, try and get a job quickly so that you'll be able to access that benefit, because a little goes a long way. If you are in this country, a little support here and there would really help you in your motherhood journey, whether you're a first time mother or you already have children. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jabaki, and if this is the first time that you are seeing me and coming to this channel, you are so welcome. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like what we are providing you, and if you've been with us throughout the journey also, we so much appreciate you. So today I'm going to look at some benefits that you can access if you are pregnant and you go on maternity leave. We are going to look at it into details, so stay right here with me as we do that. In the UK, all pregnant employees are entitled to 26 weeks ordinary maternity leave, and then also 26 weeks additional maternity leave. And this additional maternity leave must immediately follow the ordinary maternity leave. So in total, there are 52 weeks of statutory maternity leave that you can take advantage of as a pregnant woman in the UK who is working. You can get this maternity leave, this 52 weeks statutory maternity leave, regardless of whether you qualify for the statutory maternity pay or the maternity allowance. So it doesn't matter whether you qualify for those or not, you still have access to the maternity leave, the 52 weeks maternity leave. You don't have to take all of the 52 weeks leave, but then you must take 2 weeks off to take care of your baby after you've given birth, or you take 4 weeks off if you work in the factory. The earliest you can take your maternity leave is 11 weeks before the expected week of the childbirth. There are 2 maternity benefits available to women in the UK, and that is the statutory maternity pay given to you by your employer, and then the maternity allowance, which is given by the government through the Job Centre Plus. Both of these maternity benefits are intended to help you take time off work before and after childbirth, so you cannot take both of them at the same time. It's only one. Either you qualify for one or the other, so it's one at a time, not both at the same time, because it's all supposed to serve the same purpose. Qualify for the statutory maternity pay if you have worked for the same employer for 26 weeks continually before your qualifying week, which is the 15th week before your due date. Simply put, you need to have started working at least 3 weeks before you conceive. There is the need to give your employer the correct notice. You have to let them know that you are pregnant, and also when you expect to go on the maternity leave. And you must also prove that you are pregnant, and this is given to your employer in the form of the Mat B1 form, which is usually given to you by your midwife or your doctor around 20 weeks of pregnancy. So you give this to your employer to let him know that yes, indeed, you are pregnant. So it has your name, your expected due date on it, and then the signature of the health personnel who is taking care of you, either the doctor or the midwife. And then again, you are expected to be earning at least £123 per week to qualify for the statutory maternity pay. That is the current rate that you're expected to earn weekly before you can qualify for that. The statutory maternity pay is paid up to 39 weeks. For the first 6 weeks, you get 90% of your average weekly earnings before tax, and the remaining 33 weeks, you get £156.66 or 90% of your average weekly earnings, whichever one of them is lower. Note that your statutory maternity pay would be paid the same way as your normal wages. That is, if you receive your wages every 2 weeks, it will also be paid every 2 weeks. If you receive it monthly, you receive your maternity pay also monthly. And then again, the taxes would be deducted, as well as the national insurance would still be deducted from the statutory maternity pay. Some companies, however, have real good maternity packages. If you work for a good company, you can expect to even have your full pay for a certain number of weeks or months when you go on your maternity, and then they can decide to give you something lesser afterwards. So what I've just told you about is the basic one that the law requires that you receive, okay, if you qualify for it. But then if you work for a very good company, you can expect something better, okay? So just bear that in mind, and this is usually stated in your contract when you are starting work, or you can ask your company, you can ask your manager, and then you know exactly what is due you as an employee in that company. If for any reason you don't qualify for the statutory maternity pay, it could be because you have not worked long enough, or you don't earn that much, the amount that I stated, then your employer will have to give you the SMP1 form that would explain why you don't qualify for the statutory maternity pay. So they will list the reasons why. If it's just one reason or several reasons, they would list that on the form. This is where the maternity allowance comes in, and it would be the main focus of this video today. You could qualify for the maternity allowance if you are employed but do not qualify for a statutory maternity pay. You can get the maternity allowance for up to 39 weeks if in the 66 weeks before your baby is due, you have been employed for at least 26 weeks and also earning £30 a week or more in at least 13 weeks. Okay, so you should be earning at least £30 a week for 13 weeks. The weeks don't have to be together, they can be different weeks put together, but just make sure that you've been earning at least £30 per week within those weeks. And also you can get a maternity allowance if you are self-employed for at least 26 weeks. You can again get the maternity allowance for up to 14 weeks if in the 66 weeks before your baby is due, you've taken part in unpaid work for your spouse or civil partner and not have been employed or self-employed, but then your partner should in that same 26 weeks, okay, be registered with the HMRC as self-employed and also should have paid the Class 2 National Insurance contribution. Currently, if you are employed or have stopped working, you would get £156.66 a week or 90% of your average weekly earnings, whichever one of them is lowest, for up to 39 weeks. And so this means that if you decide to take the whole 52 weeks statutory maternity leave, the remaining 13 weeks you will not receive any payment in the form of maternity allowance. So that's something that you have to bear in mind, and probably since it may determine when you would go back to work. So just note that if you are self-employed, you get between £27 to £156.66 for the 39 weeks. So the amount that you get paid depends on the number of Class 2 National Insurance contributions you have made in the 66 weeks before your baby is due. If you are self-employed and have not paid any Class 2 National Insurance contributions, you would only get £27 per week, okay? But then you have the opportunity to increase the amount to the full £156.66 for the 39 weeks if you pay more Class 2 national insurance contribution. So you have the opportunity to do that if you really want that full 156.66 a week for the 39 weeks. You get £27 per week for up to 14 weeks if you do unpaid work for your spouse or civil partner's business. You can still get the maternity allowance if your baby is stillborn from the 24th week of pregnancy, or if the baby is born alive at any point of the pregnancy and passes away, you will still qualify for the maternity allowance. The good thing though about the maternity allowance is that there are no deductions or whatsoever. You don't pay the national insurance, you don't pay any taxes, so you receive the full amount straight in your account. So you expect to see exactly 156.66 in your account weekly. So depending on when you get your payment into your account, you would see the exact amount. To claim the maternity allowance, you need the maternity allowance MA1 form, which you can get from the UK government website. So you can either print the form and fill it, or you fill it online and print, or if you are not into, you don't have a printer at home or anything like that, you can decide to just call the job center for them to bring one to you to your home address. They can just post it to your home address, and there are notes on the form to guide you as to how to fill it. When filling the form, you would need to provide information of employment in the 66 weeks before the baby is due. And I know that you heard me mentioning this over and over again, 66 weeks before baby is due. This is called the test period, okay? And there is a way that you will know how to calculate that. It's included in the document on the government website, so you can check that out so that you will know what your test period is, okay? You would have to provide a bank or a building society account where your money would be paid to, and decide also on when you want to be paid. Currently, there are two options on the form: if you want to be paid every 2 weeks, or you want to be paid every 4 weeks. So you have to decide on that and take which one is suitable for you. The documents that you need to send along with your claim form is a proof of your earnings, such as your pay slips, okay, and then also certificates of small earnings exemption if it's applicable to you. And then again, you need to send a proof of your pregnancy in the form of the Mat B1 form, which will be given to you by your midwife or your doctor when you are around 20 weeks pregnant. And then also you add your SMP1 form given to you by your employer only if you were refused the statutory maternity pay. If you are applying for the 14 weeks maternity allowance, then you may have to provide more information about your partner's self-employed business and the role that you played in it, your unpaid role in that business. You need to indicate that and probably send proof, okay, of that. When all your documents are ready, you add it to the claim form and post to the address indicated on the form. So you would see that on the form they have provided an address where you need to post the form to. So you add your documents to it and then you post it there. You usually get the decision within 20 working days. So if you're eligible, a form will be sent to you confirming all the details that you've provided, the payment amount, and then the times that you want to be paid and all that. So it will also confirm when you would receive your first payment. I hope this information has been helpful. Thanks so very much for your time, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet done so. So till we meet again, take care of yourselves, and it's bye for now.